Hello! If you guys remember, last episode we decided that we're not going to do anything of significance. This episode we're going to take it one step further, meaning that we're not going to do anything. At all. Just as a very small example, we are not going to have a very small island for our Tinkers area. It's so good not having to do anything. And since we are not going to make the island, therefore we cannot make the smeltery on top. Although that smeltery is very important for us because if you guys remember, we're going to need unobtainium oldemodium alloy. It's okay, we will do it next episode. And I guess since we are not doing this, we will have no idea how slow this is going to be. Oh my goodness. Oh, fun fact of the day. You lose the cast. Of course I would not know that because we don't really have a smeltery. Okay, so obviously we are not doing this project, but if you're doing this project on your own, you should remember that you can pump the cast on top of the casting table. I would use an entangled block, but the iron wire is also acceptable. Another thing that I would recommend to you is that you need more piglins, a lot more. And don't forget to name them, because if you don't name them, you're going to lose a few. Don't ask me how I know. I thought it's a boss. Anywho, the drop rates are not that bad, and progress is not very slow. Another mod that we're not going to get into is FTB Industrial Contraptions, which does require a ton of rubber. Yeah, that should be enough. Just a bit more. And it does need industrial grade metal, which is essentially smelted up iron. Wireless charger, I just noticed. And the only things that we're going to need in order to make the star is the antimatter, a nuke, a nuclear reactor, and an EV solar panel, which also requires an antimatter. So we don't need that many items, therefore I don't think there is any need of automating it. We just make everything in bulk. For example, circuits, or even the advanced circuits. And mainly, this is the machine that we want, the antimatter constructor. So what do you need? Copper coils, advanced alloy, which can be made from a lot of things, iron, bronze, aluminium. Yeah, we go with bronze. Yeah, honestly speaking, I think that's going to be more than enough. Another thing that you might notice that we're going to need is iridium. Aha, iridium does have EMC, but we don't have it. And I did not manage to find a single ore, so I guess what we have to do is that we need to go with chemistry lab. Or alchemistry, I forgot the name. So how would you get iridium? Crying obsidian. This is why I actually made the Piglin farm. Very good. Iridium. So we have the vial, we convert it into the dust. I'm hoping it's going to give me this iridium because this one has EMC. Oh, it gave me the one. Then ladies and gentlemen, we're good with iridium. So all of that being said and done, there is one machine that we need. The compressor. I think there could be more, but we will see. Here is a basic generator, it can burn coal and it will generate zap. And zap is the new EU. The reason that we need that is that we need to get some carbon fibers. That's gonna give us carbon fiber mesh. And that carbon fiber mesh has to be compressed very slowly. That gives us the carbon plates. There could be one or two more machines that we're going to need, but we will see. So, two advanced machine frames, some iridium alloy. For making the iridium circuits that we need for the antimatter constructor, we're going to need some graphene, which is coal ball in a compressor. That's gonna take ages, which means if we don't want it to take ages, maybe we should add more machines. Just a bit more. Oops, I made too many blocks of coal. It's okay, it will go to the reactors. I'm going to reiterate, the reason that we're not going to have a dedicated area for FTB Industrial Contraptions is that we don't need that many machines, and it's not very functional. I mean, it would have been very functional if antimatter had a use. But we do have our graphene blocks, so here are two iridium circuits, and here is the antimatter constructor. Lovely. The problem is powering it. This is one of those jobs that you cannot straight on make the EV solar panel. We have to start with HV, but that's going to take a very long time and integrated dynamics is going to be confused. So we start with 100 LV and everything is in order. And talking about solar panels, 21 more. Everything is fine? We're good? Seems we're good. That should give me 2 more. We're up to 5. Nice. One more thing that we have to pay attention to when making the Oldemod star is the dimensional seed because that requires a ton of blocks. So while the solar panels are cooking up, maybe we should make some of those blocks. One of those is emerald, but not 3 times compressed, 4 times compressed. And it seems that we're going to get it very soon. Oh, we already got one. Okay. I just realized I made a teeny tiny boo-boo. I ordered 100 solar panels, right? Yeah, this is MV, so we're making 600 LV. It's not a huge problem, we're going to need several EV solar panels, so why the hell not? From the dimensional seed, we have the emerald block, correct? So that's fine. The other item which does not have EMC is red sand. It is made from fire and dirt essence, so let us get a few seeds. We are going to get 9 for fire, And don't you worry, I'm using hoppers. And we're also going to get 9 dirt. I think we're good. Yep, we do have a stupendous amount of vibranium, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove the seeds, and we're going to put dirt inside. Don't you worry. Obviously fire too. That does go inside the crafter. We're going to remove the patterns that we have for vibranium and make red sand instead. That's the opposite way. Yeah, like so. I think we still have enough patterns to compress it to. Yep, and compress it to 2 times compressed. Yes, 3 times compressed, and obviously 4 times compressed. That should take care of it. And it's relatively fast. It gives us like 16 per recipe, so it's incredibly fast. What do you have to sell? Get out of my room. For the remaining 6 items which do have an EMC, what we're going to do is that we're going to have 6 energy condensers, 6 crafters. Wait a minute, isn't it 6? Oh, soul sand. Obviously, we're just gonna dupe them. Well, by the time I set up all the patterns, we have 41 soul sand blocks, 34 endstone, 35, 26 netherrack, 4 obsidian, 1 blackstone, and I guess very soon we're also going to have clay. The issue is that it has to convert it into blocks first, so it takes a bit of time. But as usual, we should be able to speed it up, by adding more patterns. Very good. We also have 1 red sand block. If we get the second one, we can make 1-dimensional seed. That's nice. It has been maybe a few seconds after I said that sentence, and well, we have everything we need. Dimensional seed. Master of dimensions. Well, if that is the case, let us get 1 more of these crazy items. And that item is also going to be the creative essence. I call it crazy, but it's actually very cheap. We just need a few of these insanium gemstones, and voila, creative essence. 2 of them. I can make 1 more or 2 more. Nice. You go back and do your job. In the meantime, most of my solar panels are also ready, so we should be able to make a few HV solar panels. Well, actually, we can make exactly 6. That's great. So what we're going to do is that we're not going to have a system with HV solar panels, we want to go with EV. The problem is that in order to make EV, we need antimatter. And antimatter is made from nothing, just power. It's actually not slow. We have our first antimatter. I was going to say it's gonna take a crazy amount of time, but okay, I'm not gonna complain. Are you sure you're HV? Yeah, it's fine. In all the mod 7 we had like 10,000 of these antimatters, and they were all useless. Another component of the older mod star, which we can easily craft, is the Oblivion Shard. I have made like 50 of these blocks. This is gonna be easy. There you go. That's it. Also, over here, I think we're done with the compressed blocks, because we have like stacks and stacks. I took them already out, so don't you worry. So we can replace one of them with netherite blocks, because for the Nexium emitter, we need a netherite block 5 times compressed. That's a lot. Actually, that's a lot, because 1 netherite is like 4 amethyst. Yeah, but it's decently fast. We have 6 of the 3 times compressed. And don't you worry, we have millions and millions of amethyst. Give me a 4 times compressed, come on. You can do it, thank you. We should get it relatively soon. Maybe half an hour? Yeah, this is still 1.6 million, okay, we're good. And do not be worried, at our sieving area we have 3 million. Since we are almost done with the FTB industrial contraptions, I see no point of automating the fluid cells. We just fill them in manually. It's like a bucket. We also get some compressed copper. The plate is actually called dense copper plate. And what we want to do is that we want to make the large coolant cell. So here is medium and here is large. I personally have a feeling that's all we need for an EV solar panel. Yeah, I guess that was it. But obviously we don't want to have the one, we want to have a few. In any case, for the moment, you continue working. Wait a minute, I can make the Nexium emitter. If we are going to go for the older mod star, then antimatter, the other one from mechanism, is a thing. We do not have a huge supply of polonium and plutonium, therefore we cannot make the SPS chamber. So let us get a bit, but just a bit. I don't really remember how many do we need. Maybe we're going to go with 4 stacks of polonium and maybe 1 stack of plutonium? Cause yeah, you only need 1 plutonium and 4 polonium. Good ratio. Although one very stupid thing that you should remember is that I think we need like 10,000 millibuckets of polonium in order to get 1 antimatter. Let us do a very small calculation. So 1 antimatter pellet needs 1000 millibuckets of antimatter. Oh, and 1 millibucket of antimatter requires 1 bucket of polonium. Nuclear waste to polonium is 10 to 1, and fissile fuel to nuclear waste is 1 to 1. So 10 million millibuckets. At a burn rate of 45 millibuckets per tick, this is gonna take ages. Yes, it's gonna take almost 3 hours in order to make 1 antimatter, and we need 9 in order to make the Wither's compass, 1 for pulsating black hole, and 1 for the philosopher fuel. So that's 33 hours. Well, I can always increase the burn rate and cut it down to like 20 hours. Oop, water is going down. Well, now water is going up. So we're good. Okay, since we are not going to go with a sodium cooled reactor, voila. We have 2 more reactors. Exactly the same setup. You know, sink, trash, pipes. And obviously 64 fuel assemblies. Another thing that I noticed is that our production of fissile fuel was really garbage. That's because we only had 1 chemical oxidizer, which at this very moment that one is not working, but I do have a few entangled blocks down here and we have 3 extra chemical oxidizers. That brings up our production to almost 2 buckets per second. Even more. However, now that we are going to get extra polonium pellets, I think we are going to need more waste barrels. This should be enough, but just in case I'm going to add 1 more row. Let's get some fluorite. You go in the hopper. It's awesome that I'm trying to automate polonium using a hopper. Just think about that for a second. Just to be on the safe side, we are going to go with 40 millibuckets per tick. You as well, and you too. Now that is a ton of nuclear waste. It's just that I kind of forgot we need an extra pipe. Yep, so polonium production should be relatively fast. And do you know why it's not fast? We're also getting plutonium. But once we get 1 stack, then we're done. You know, in the past, whenever we had a reactor, I never used to go above 50 millibuckets per tick, the burn rate. Because I used to extract the water and I was not using integrated dynamics. Now the water flow is almost infinite. I mean, right now we are extracting 10 million millibuckets per tick. So it's almost infinite. I can even go higher. So I thought we let this guy burn at 64 millibuckets per tick. That is the maximum it can handle and it's keeping up. As long as the fuel is fine, we're good. And this is the rate we are getting polonium. That is nice. We have 48 plutonium, so we should be able to turn this guy off very soon. Well, we have 67 SPS casings, 4 ports, and a lot of glass. And also a decent amount of polonium, so we can have a teeny tiny bit more. Oh, we're out of HDPE, which is perfectly fine. 1 stack and 16, I think that's enough. We also want to set it up in 1 chunk, so we're going to start somewhere around here. Yeah, this should be fine. Every time I forget how you would set it up. I think it's a 3x3, 3 additional blocks on the side, and then you cover it with SPS casings. So something like this? Yeah, I think something like this. Then I just have to cover it. I made too many SPS casings. Those are expensive. We wasted a lot of resources. But it's okay. It's not done. Oh, I'm missing here. Yeah, we didn't waste that much. No, actually we just wasted 1 block. Yeah. We need 2 more ports for the laser, so you go over there and you over there. Also for the moment, let us turn off the reactors because I need to go and get some solar panels. Which obviously brings us to the main question, how many more do we have? 8 is good. So we should be able to make 1 more ultimate and I think we have 5. Yeah, great. We also need to make 2 lasers and the other one had a different name. Ah yeah, supercharged coil. Yes, you need more polonium, that is fine. We just need to insert the polonium into the SPS chamber, and I think a connection like this should work fine. We also don't need any more polonium, so we can turn you off. So, supercharged coil, the other coil. We want you to be output, and since we have a total of 6 solar panels, each one of you for the moment gets 3 of them. Everything has to go inside the crystallizer as well, so here's your power. That should give us the antimatter pellet. Let us see if it works. Nuclear waste, polonium, and yes. Water does drop for a second, but it's okay. Then it will go up. This is beautiful. Beacon, I'm sorry my friend. You're too late. 3 millibuckets of antimatter. Oh, but we are producing much more polonium than we are processing. Maybe not. I don't know. I have just been AFK for 40 or 45 minutes just to understand how fast are we producing antimatter. I got stuck, sorry. But here's the result. 118 millibuckets. That is garbage. Do you know why? We have the capacity of making 192 millibuckets of nuclear waste per tick, but with this power situation, I can only process around 80 millibuckets. So as a result, this pipe is going to get full. So how can we fix it? Well, my original plan was to have tons of these solar panels and have an induction matrix. Obviously, that didn't happen. Therefore, plan B is going to be nitro reactors from power. We just need some crystals, that's it. It's just that I think I have to wait until this pipe is finished. I'm scared to go away. Maybe it will explode. I have never ever made a nitro reactor without auto-crafting. But at this stage of the game, I'm like, what's the point of automating it? It's just a few blocks. So it is 1 block of blazing crystal, 2 redstone, and 1 star, right? Yeah, it's gonna take some time. And honestly speaking, it's not that bad, because each one also gives you 16, right? I don't remember. Yes, 16. I was lazy to make more blocks of redstone, but I think this should be enough, right? We still have 2 more badges, and I just reset it. Okay, so nitro capacitor. What did we run out of? Ooh, that kind of capacitor. Oh, I am telling you, power is relatively expensive. But I also have a feeling that we're going to need far more crystals, cause 2 stacks is not gonna cut it. Let us check with one of the reactors. Okay, the node doesn't move. That's good. So that is 1 reactor. We had extra 40 blocks. That gives us 2 reactors, which means we should be able to break another one. Why don't you stack? Okay, so here is 1, 2, bucket of water. So each one of you are generating me 500,000 RF, which is good. That means I need a ton more. I'll be right back. I did upgrade the reactors 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 until all of them are nitro. I thought it's going to be enough, but unfortunately no, it's nowhere near enough. I did AFK for a while and it does seem that we need like twice the power. I mean, our supply of polonium and nuclear waste is amazing, it's just our conversion rate. I can demonstrate it for you. So this one is burning at 64 millibuckets per tick, and this is our conversion rate, which is really garbage. We're going to need way more power. But at least on a positive note, we do have 2 antimatter pellets and like 300 millibuckets. We could have made way more solar panels, but if you guys remember, I was trying to make a compressed block of netherite and I kind of left it on for a very long time. So we were out of EMC, so the production of solar panels also stopped. But don't you worry, I have fixed it, now it should be good. Not great, but relatively good. Also in other news, these guys have been doing a great job. We have plenty of hearts and plenty of ingots. I put like 4 stacks of blocks inside, so we have 18 stacks of ingots. You see the problem with netherite? I have 422 double compressed blocks of netherite. Just before we wrap up today's episode, there is something that I wanted to mention. And yes, unfortunately the last few episodes are going to be a teeny tiny bit shorter. By the time that I'm releasing this video, you are going to probably watch episode 9 tonight. And well, the feedback that I got from episode 7 and 8 were not really great. Meaning that either I'm doing a really garbage job or you guys are not a fan of this mod pack. If I'm garbage, I can't really fix it, but if it's the pack, well, I can speedrun through it and finish it as soon as possible. And don't you worry, when I say I did not get a good feedback, I meant that all of my metrics dropped by 30 or 40%. So it's not that I got any negative comments, it's just that I think you guys are not interested. Otherwise I had so many projects in this mod pack that we could have easily gone, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 more episodes. But just in case I'm wrong, I'm not going to make the final episode until I see your guys' feedback on this video. But for the moment, I have to go and AFK and get some antimatter. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye. I hit the wall.